Banana wine.
Is it ready to bottle?
When last we left this, it was about 3 weeks ago, and it was at 1.014 gravity after putting a half pound of brown sugar into it. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, that means you missed 2 videos. Go back and watch them. We'll wait. So what I want to do is take a reading on this and make sure it's really ready to rack and go away, for aging. And by reading, I mean specific gravity. We use this in the hydrometer and the poor man's wine thief. We know the rules by now. Lovely clarity, really nice clarity, which we knew that already. This one cleared out really nicely. This had also gone down to 0.990 twice on us already, so I expected it did again. But you never know. Maybe not. We'll make sure the hydrometer is floating, not bouncing around and all that sort of thing. And, oh, look at that, 1.014. So it is stable now. It's stopped from the last time. Something a lot of people are talking about is bubbles again. I don't know where they're getting the ideas from. Counting bubbles doesn't actually show you anything. I had someone say, well, I heard that when it's down to 30 bubbles a minute that it's ready to rack. And I'm like, okay, first, 30 bubbles a minute sounds pretty active to me. And second, who told you that? Because that's nowhere near ready to rack. Don't go by bubbles. Use SPGR, specific gravity readings. It's the only really reliable way to know. If you don't have a hydrometer, here's how you do it. Let this sit for like 8 weeks before you even touch it. That way you're pretty much assured fermentation's done. No, there's no harm in doing that. I'm going to get a little sample here. Now prior to that little rant, let me explain what happened. We had back sweetened this one twice already, and it actually fermented the first time. The second time it didn't, which means it's done. We have reached the yeast tolerance or surpassed it, so it's done. A little bit of residual sweetness. Speaking of yeast tolerance and surpassing that, let's find out what the ABV is. Now because we back sweetened, this one's a little bit different. Before anybody freaks out, I sanitized my phone. Okay, this started at 1.100. We added, oh wait, let me just do this. So it started at 1.100, right? It went down to 0.990. So that's 1.100 minus 0.990. That means we used 110 points, or 0.110 of gravity. Now, we added half pound. That made it go from 0.990 to 1.010. So that's 20 points, but don't count those 20 points yet. What we want is the 1.010 back down to 0.990 that it did. Yes, it's confusing, and I'm very sorry, but that's 20 points used. So I add 0.02 to the 110 number. Let me go over that one more time really quickly because I know that was confusing. We started at 1.100. It went to 0.990, so we used that much gravity. We then added more sugars. Doesn't even matter how much we added. It matters where we got it to, which is 1.010. It went back down to 0.990 at that point. That's 20 more points. You add up the used gravity from both of those, multiply that by 135, and that gives you your final ABV. Don't worry about the final gravities and things like that. That doesn't really matter because it didn't ferment that. It's only what got fermented. I hope that made more sense. Anyway, our ABV for this, now keep in mind, we used
Lauvin's 71 Beast,
which is a 14% yeast, 17.55%. So this just goes to prove yeast can't read, and ours were just overachievers.
We've also heard that yeast likes bananas.
Banana seems to be a very, very powerful nutrient for yeasts. All right, so what we want to do is give this a taste, because we want to make sure that no adjustments are needed before we bottle this, because once you bottle, you can't change it.
We're thinking since our gravity didn't change and we did give it a preliminary taste, it's probably going to be fine, but we just want to make sure.
Let me take some notes. Okay, so like we always like to do, just going to give this a little bit of a swirl, get the fumes going, give it a smell. It definitely smells of banana. A little bit of alcohol in there, which I'm not surprised. It's 17.5%. This is pretty strong stuff.
It reminds me of banana bread. So it's
Yes.
not just banana, it's almost a cooked banana smell.
That's the brown sugar. The brown sugar and banana just gives that bananas Foster kind of idea. I think this is really interesting. I haven't tasted it yet, though.
When we started this project, I was like, ooh. And now I'm like, ooh. Okay? So you see the difference. Ew. Ooh. This is good drinking. And I'm shocked because the whole murky...
Oh, she was not happy.
I was just like, why? Why would you do that to a perfectly good banana? Well, this is why. This is good stuff.
I knew. I've made it before. I knew. She didn't like the one I made before. This is much better than the one I made before. The other one was a little bit more sweet, had a little more of that false banana flavor.
Yes.
It was a little more...
This,
it was just too much. This is balanced really nice.
I'm really excited to wait 6 months to a year where we do our actual tasting and give you all the notes, because there is a complexity to this that's shocking to me and very good.
By the way, at 1.014, you would think this is just a semi-sweet. It tastes sweet. Like the banana flavor really comes through, making it taste sweeter than it actually is. I'm so happy about this. This is really, really good. This is better than I thought.
So to answer the question, is it ready to bottle? Yes, it is.
Heck yeah. Okay, so we are going to be bottling now. And we're bottling direct from the fermenter today. We don't normally do that, but I looked. There's such little least in the bottom of this. Not worried. A lot of the time in secondary, you'll get a thicker layer. This is like literally a dusting. Not really all that concerned. So we're just going to be careful when we get towards the bottom.
Because we're leaving our cap on, which is going to help prevent sucking up any of that least.
Exactly. We used to think years ago that this cap was an optional protection. It's not at all. It's actually there to keep you from sucking up least. So you can go like a 1/4 inch to almost a 1/2 inch deep into least, and it shouldn't suck that up. Kind of neat, huh? All right, Derek is going to hold the bottle for a moment. I'm going to put this in here. You have to push down on the bottling wand or else the flow won't start. So once I get this going, something like that, I can go all the way to the bottom of this jar, and it shouldn't really have anything to pick up.
Sure, you can take over.
And now we bottle. Very simple. You just use the wand until it gets to the top, pull it out, put it in the next bottle. So we'll probably fast forward this part. Okay, so we got 4 and almost a 5th bottle out of this one. This one's not quite all the way up in the neck, so we'll refrigerate that, probably drink it a little sooner rather than later, just in case. These others though, one of those is going to go away for a year, and then we're going to revisit it and drink it again. If you like this video, we have over 200 videos on our channel on how to make mead, wine, cider, and beer.
Thank you for liking and subscribing.
And as always, guys, thanks for watching. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.